Putting together the K9cart. How are you going to turn this into this? Well, that's what I'm going to show you right now. So bear with me while I tell you about the parts. These things are the wheels and the wheel struts. If for some reason your cart is not tall enough, you could replace these wheels with taller ones. Generally, you'll have to go to a longer screw so that they'll stand out further. This is the saddle unit, and the blue things there are the arms. In one of the carts that I'm demoing this for, that'll be sections on the black plastic block. The legs are going to insert into these little slots in the back, and you can temporarily tighten them with this screw on the front, but eventually, after you get them in the right position, you're going to want to tighten them with this Allen wrench socket hole that goes in the back. So I'll put those in and show you. Now we have the legs in, you can see them. And again, we're just going to temporarily tighten with this bolt, but ultimately when we have them in the right point, we're going to use the Allen wrench on the back here. Now the next thing we want to do is insert the arms, and they're going to go in these side holes. And the arms are in, we're going to adjust the length, and then we're going to tighten up this screw on the top. You can't quite see it in my picture, but it's right up there. We're going to tighten that up to make it the right length and to make it stay there. And the last thing we might want to do after we try our dog in it is to widen or narrow this section. If you look in the back, you'll find, again, Allen wrench holes, and that allows you to loosen the bar, adjust it to where you want, and then tighten it back up. These bars sometimes have a tendency to work loose, and if they do, once you get the right adjustment, feel free to duct tape it or drill if you have to get it to stay in the right place. I'm getting a little help from Jack here, who wants to be in a cart himself one day. Okay, so next thing is we're going to look at the O-rings. You probably won't need to adjust the rings here, but if you do, we're going to loosen the appropriate screw on those and then simply adjust the extra length here to make it fit. If you had to make them very, very much larger, you might want to get some additional pieces of rubber here to cover the top. We can probably get you in touch with K9carts on how to get those. Okay, so now we've got our cart put together. I'll show you a couple of the extras on Candy's cart here. I've put these tennis balls on the very end because it tends to wobble on him a little bit. And I put these tennis balls on the backs of the wheels, on the backs of the square bar, because otherwise he hits the furniture with them. I have sewn Velcroed covers for the O-rings because he has a tendency to get sores. And these little ducks are because Candy's wheels happen to be way too tall for his cart, and this protects the cart when Jack jumps on it. You probably won't need those, but if you do, they're just plain old rubber ducks cut with holes. Tennis balls would work too. Another finishing touch I have is a little signal light for when we go outside. Our carts have lights that roll with the wheel. I almost forgot to mention the stirrups. Unfortunately, neither of these carts have the greatest stirrup setup, but the stirrups are where the back seat will go when they're too weak to be used at all anymore. Until that, you probably want to let your dog drag and wear shoes with it. But Candy will wear his feet up in the cart. He'll be racing around like that. In fact, I'm going to put him in his cart. And if your dog doesn't quite take off as fast and start running around like Candy does, of course he's standing here for me right now, just keep in mind Candy's been in this cart almost 6 years. And so that's the finished thing. Hopefully you won't have any trouble, but if you do,